Hey food lovers! Are you looking for a cookbook that feels just like home? Introducing Mama's Kitchen Cookbook, a treasure trove of heartwarming recipes straight from the heart of the kitchen. Whether you're a seasoned chef or just starting out, Mama's Kitchen has got you covered with easy-to-follow recipes that will delight your family and friends. From mouth-watering main courses to delectable desserts, every dish is crafted with love and tradition. But that's not all. Each recipe comes with a little slice of history and a sprinkle of Mama's wisdom. It's more than just a cookbook, it's a journey through flavors and memories. Available now on Amazon. So why wait? Bring the taste of home to your kitchen today with Mama's Kitchen Cookbook. Head over to Amazon and grab your copy now. Happy cooking!
Talk to me, Michele, on the street lights on the corner. City vibes got a story. Feel the beat, don't ignore me.
Welcome back, boys and girls. We are back with Talk to Me, Michele, with another intriguing episode. I thank you guys again for tuning in, and I want to thank you guys for the feedback on the last two episodes. You know, I try to keep a consistent schedule for y'all, and I'm trying to stick to Tuesdays and Thursdays. If I can get those two episodes out a week, maybe a bonus every now and then. We'll see how it goes. But thanks again for tuning in. Thank you guys for subscribing, liking, sharing, and I gotta give a shout out to one of my first supporters on Buy Me a Coffee. Miss Jen went to buy me a coffee, and she bought several cups of coffee. So I thank you so much, Jen, for your support. And hey, I encourage you guys, if you want to support the show and donate, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/talktomemichele. That's the way we keep this thing going, y'all. So thank you again, girl. So today's topic is embarking on the path, my spiritual journey with my spiritual advisor. So it's going to be an enlightening episode, and we're diving deep into this subject because both personal and universal spirituality is it for me. That's just my personal preference. That's where I feel comfortable, at home, and connected. It's very important. So that's why I want to tap on this, and later on in the episode, I'll be bringing on my spiritual advisor, Spiritual Essentials. I have, relationships with several different spiritual advisors, but, as far as me being devoted, my girl Spiritual. That's the one I always go to. That's the one I'm always listening to first. And like I said, I'm supportive when I see somebody's authentic, but that's why I'm going to be bringing her on to the show a little bit later. Whether you're someone who is just beginning your spiritual journey, or you're a seasoned seeker, or you have curiosity, because religion does not work for everyone. And that's why I found spirituality so comfortable. Organized religion, let me put it that way. I'm going to have a few milestones and some of the challenges I still face while I'm on this spiritual journey, along with the moments that shape my beliefs. And this is all inspired by the invaluable guidance I've received from my spiritual advisor. So let me tell you how I started my spiritual journey. My journey began during the pandemic. It was a time of change, and, we were all on lockdown. So social media was the outlet for a lot of interaction since we couldn't interact in person. So at the time, I was, just attending lives, and I met my spiritual advisor during a live session, and I started following her on Instagram. I was captivated by her encouragement and the deep thoughts and insights she had on spirituality. I started attending her lives regularly, and I found myself increasingly drawn to her teachings. Now, I'm not the best student, I'm going to tell you right now, because sometimes I think I can be like a defiant child when there's something I know I need to do, and just because sometimes I put that challenge on the table for myself, I'm like, I ain't going to do it. For some reason, that's like an inner battle with me. But growing up, our grandmother would take my sister and me to church. I'm going to tell you right now, through our immediate family, we weren't regular churchgoers. We didn't attend church on a regular basis. If it was Easter, yeah, we there. We got our Easter suits on. Do I know the pastor? No. I'm just telling you, we were heathens. But when we moved to Memphis, my grandmother was like, no, I go to church, so you go to church. So we started attending church with her, and my grandmother went to this mega church in Memphis, Tennessee. So it wasn't all the way black, wasn't all the way white, but it was a nice little balance in between. But my personal connection with God, that's always been in existence. You know, I've always felt I do not need to attend this particular service every Sunday to know God's love. That's just the way I looked at it. You know, so I couldn't help also, when I was going to church, I would notice y'all not practicing these Christian values y'all speak on.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Isn't that funny? I promise you I'm about to do the Game of Thrones on these people. When I see this type of behavior, it's hypocrisy, where people would mistreat others while professing their faith. I'm like, how can you be a child of God and you be doing all kind of stuff in these streets? It's just not reflecting to me. Additionally, the historical misuse of this Bible during slavery for me, that is really what further distanced me from organized religion, because slave masters twisted biblical teachings just to justify ownership and such inhumane treatment of slaves. You know, you being a Christian, but you breaking families apart. There's all type of stuff I'm not going to even get into detail about. Suffering for centuries. So you use the Bible to justify certain behaviors and actions. This dark history, it made me question the foundations of the teachings I was being exposed to. I'm not going to even lie. I'm not the kind of student not do my own research. Because, yeah, you could tell me I need to do it this way, but there might be another alternative to make it better. Or an alternative that exposes more of the truth. I mean, why do you think that they take Black history out of schools? Because they don't want people to know the truth. Spirituality felt like a natural fit for me. It allows me to connect with my deeper self. I'm elevating my energy to a higher level, and it's brought me such peace. It's brought me happiness. It's given me a sense of redirection in my life. It's also helped me align with my ancestors. When we have loved ones that pass away, we mourn, we grieve, and then, life does carry on, but they're still there with you. So I feel like I have a deeper connection with my ancestors since I've been practicing spirituality. It, helped my sister and myself create a powerful and harmonious connection with our heritage. Now, my spiritual advisor played a very pivotal role in this journey. She guided me, helped me navigate this path with wisdom and compassion. I ain't gonna lie. I am not, like I said, I'm not the best student at all times, depending on what the lesson at hand is. I would still make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But when I would talk to her about some of these feelings, these decisions, and she would be straight up with me. That's why I love that honesty factor again. When you're talking about friendship, I love honesty. Let me know what it is I need to do. And if it's something I'm doing to cause more misery on myself, let me redirect that. So her influence has been instrumental in my growth. And I am so grateful for the profound impact that she's had on my spiritual awakening and the impact she's had on my family. Because once I started following her, my sister started following her. Then my dad started listening. And my dad is a major skeptic. But you cannot speak sideways about spiritual, because then you're going to have a problem with this household. Not just one person, the household. All right, everybody, I've been talking about this woman. You heard about her in my very first episode when I talked about her guidance, and I did not listen. So what I'm going to do is definitely give all ears to my spiritual advisor. Everybody, please welcome Spiritual Essentials.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hey, it's so good to have my sister on. I promise you, this is like an adopted sister.
Yes, we family now.
Yeah, no, I know I mentioned in the Friends episode about sis and stuff. No, I got rapport. We both got rapport with each other, so let's not go there. But I'm glad to have you on. I talk about spirituality on a very frequent basis, and you are definitely part of that inspiration. I want to get into your background of your expertise. How did you first become aware of the gifts that you were blessed with?
Well, I've always known. When I really noticed, I was probably like 5 or 6. I was sleeping and I got up and I started having a conversation with an entity that was in the apartment. And the way my family reacted, it was obvious that they could not see what I was seeing. And so that's when I noticed myself, but my family always knew.
So I know a majority of us hearing that would not know how to respond. It seems like you took it in stride at a very young age.
I was never afraid of spiritual encounters. What was off-putting to me was the reaction of the people in my family. And so because it wasn't comfortable for them, I started to suppress it as I got older.
When did you become comfortable enough with your gift that you was like, I'm going to be sharing this, I'm going to be speaking on it?
2001, when I had my daughter, the oldest, I was in a spiritual environment. My church at the time was a non-denominational church ran by a Nigerian pastor, Pastor George, may God rest his soul. He really helped me to embrace my spiritual gifts and abilities and not to be afraid of sharing it, and taught me a better way of interpreting what I was picking up on a spiritual level. So that's when it really started.
I want to know how you came to the decision on, like, I need to share this publicly with everybody and let them know there are other options.
I laugh because it is not something I decided. It was something it was something that I felt spiritually led to do. My husband and my god sister kind of was the driving force behind it at first. It took a lot of fasting and praying and pep talks, to get me to this point. But what really got me is that the spiritual community is so, one, divided, and two, it's so much warmongers bitterness. So I felt like it needed to be a difference. It needed to be a light source. It needed to be that your gifts and abilities aren't weapons, they're tools.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people have a stigma attitude towards spirituality. And I know for you, to come out to this point where you sharing your gifts, making wonderful products. I mean, we swear by spirituals. And I'm going to say this before we even get more into this interview. Her yoni wash, y'all. I call it the cookie wash because it keeps the cookie moist and it keeps it from crumbling. That's why I like to call it. But it's the bomb.
Girl, I love that.
Well, we're going to speak on that cookie wash a little bit later on, but I had to mention that. So what are some of the key teachings or philosophies that you involve when you're influencing people for spiritual growth?
Just to be authentically you and develop your own personal relationship with your source, be it God, the universe, yourself, or any higher power that you believe in or resonate with. Just to, find your rhythm in your spirituality, because spirituality is first and foremost very individual. You may find like-minded people along the way, but everybody has their unique imprint in spirituality.
I agree, because I see that, different people that practice spirituality have different methods. It's pretty much a collective the same, but everybody has a different approach to it.
Absolutely.
So what are practical tips or some advice that anybody who's trying to get a little bit more peace in their life, trying to reconnect with themselves, their family, what are just some practical tips you would advise?
When seeking information or guidance, please do your research, right? Do that self-reflection, check in with yourself, start to develop your intuition. What feels right to you? What feels wrong? Use your discernment. I've done this before. Let me try this another way. stuff like that, right? Be a leader, not a follower when it comes to anything in life, but especially your spiritual path and journey. And then be unapologetic about it.
Very much so. Now, that's one thing I do like about spiritual, because you are very unapologetic for what you speak, what you say. You deal with it, or you don't have to. Period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Respectfully. Yeah. There are certain things that I, spiritual, have opinions with like everybody else. And I share them respectfully and boldly. And then there's certain things that I get spiritually, and those things I will never waver on. They're not up for discussion or debate. I said what I said.
Exactly.
I said what I said.
And I'm going to get some spiritual T-shirts, and that's going to be the slogan on there. I said what I said. Okay. So when it comes to trying to incorporate spirituality in your life, you're brand new on the scene, you really want to give this a roll, what would you advise people to start with first?
Start with solitude. Get to know you, your icks, your strengths, your weaknesses. Get to know and embrace that, and anything that needs adjusting, do that at your own pace, according to your own moral compass and guide. So it's just too much of everybody trying to be like everybody else. And then once you find out what it is your interests are, what you want to do with what you've learned about yourself, find a way to do that uniquely, authentically. Don't try to be like anybody else out there. I think that's the most important thing.
But, there's simple things that people need to do, I think, just to keep their sanity in check, because life be life. And again, simple practices can include meditation, mindfulness, gratitude, and self-reflection. What's your feedback on those basic, generic ways that we can just get some peace in our life?
All of the above. So there are certain fundamentals to spirituality, mind, body, spirit healing, and self-awareness, which you've all mentioned, that is in the book, Spirituality Made Simple. And it breaks down all the things that you thought you knew. Get rid of that, because there's so many levels and facets to spirituality that you don't know what you think you know. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that's one. Being mindful that your way isn't the best way, it's just another way. Okay, so don't try to convert anybody or tell anybody what to do. Just share your knowledge and insight the best you can and leave it there. Meditation and affirmations are very important steps and tools in your spiritual arsenal, because you need to learn, quiet the mind, shut off the noise in the everyday, and really understand what the spirit, what the elements, what the energy, everything around you has been trying to tell you. And we don't always feel it because, life be life, and everything is go, 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 go.
Rocky is more in sync with spirituality. I know I got a lot more work to do, because I'm just like you said, I'm always go, go, go. And you have been on me for Lord knows how long about take a breather. It's okay. They will survive without you for a few minutes.
Absolutely.
That is a habit of mine that I do need to take more time to meditate and just, be at peace and have some quiet time just for myself. So I definitely say everybody need to do that, so we won't have to have no charges in the aftermath.
That part, not just, criminal charges, but medical ones as well. Like, I think we all can attest to the fact that when our mind, body, spirit is screaming at us and we're ignoring it, it manifests either violently or in some form of a medical illness. And so this is why it's so important to take those breaths and spaces of time that we need to recharge.
Yeah, we definitely all need to take a, step back and recharge. And it's okay, because sometimes I think we feel that we're going to miss out on something, or we just need to get this off our to-do list, that we just put that as a priority versus ourselves.
Right. You've never seen any Fortune 500 stop functioning, even when the CEO and the founder of the company passes. The life goes on. So please make some time for yourself.
Now let's address some common questions people may have about spirituality. The common questions that people have, which again, you guys have got to go pick up her book, Spirituality Made Simple. It's on Amazon, and it is a wonderful book. I was blessed enough to help Spiritual through this process. And even while I was helping you with this book, most of these common questions that I'm going to ask are covered in the book, but it's just the surface, y'all. Go buy the book.
Right.
But some of the common questions we have is like, how can I connect with a higher power or the divine?
Intentionally. Yup. When you wanna impress someone or you wanna make friends, you put on your best outfit. You research what that person likes, and you present yourself before them on a regular basis until they see you. Same applies. Spirit, your spirit guides, your ancestors, God, the divine, whoever, however you do your thing, you give them the permission to communicate and to connect with you openly and with some restriction, because especially when you're beginning your spiritual journey, spirit's just been waiting, chomping at the bit for you to be ready.
Right.
So they're going to connect, but sometimes it's not comfortable. Spirit does not have a bedtime, so they will communicate with you all day long if you let them. So you need to set boundaries for your spiritual connections and interactions as well.
Now, you mentioned earlier on how stress and everything else, that if we don't take time out for ourselves, can affect you physically and mentally. Let's get a little bit more of that mental situation, because like I said, I think there's a worldwide depression going on ever since the pandemic, and people still haven't shaken it off. How does that help us mentally?
A lot of people have struggled with the unanswered unknown that they've been experiencing forever. So it will help you when you start to tap into something to understand yourself and your abilities a lot better, so you can know that, no, I'm not crazy. I actually did hear that. I did see that. I did know that before it happened. Because a lot of times you think you're going crazy because, like I said, there are things that you can see and know that nobody else knows or sees, or then they're questioning, how could they possibly know this? So it helps you on that level to know that there is a explanation for what you've been sensing, experiencing for a long time.
Now let's talk about karma.
My friend, your friend, everybody's friend.
Yo, it depends on what kind of karma we're trying to bring it back around this, please, okay? So
Listen, that's my G right there. Because you know why I'm not afraid of karma? Me and karma's besties, because I don't go out there intentionally trying to hurt people. So I'm not afraid of what's coming back to me. People that say karma is a bitch is because you've been a bitch. Because karma is a mirror.
I said what I said.
Okay, karma is a mirror, baby. You gonna eat what you got in your fridge, honey.
Oh my God. When I think about karma, and the thing about it, people actually should be very afraid of how you move on a regular basis, because it's like a saving bank that you don't see. You know what I mean? It's like you're making certain deposits on a regular basis and you don't know what your balance is.
Okay. People, the people that should be very afraid is the ones that aren't mindful, that don't practice, those things that you talked about earlier. Those are the ones that should be afraid of karma. But if you know that you've taken yourself into consideration before you act, speak, or, do things, then you have no problem worrying about karma. Karma is your best friend, because you know what's coming back to you is the goodness that you put out. But for those of you who know that your hands and your heart ain't clean, and you don't wish anybody well, and you've went to the depths of hell to try to hurt someone, be very afraid.
Yeah, I just always say, hey, look, I know my account is not in the negative, so I'm good.
Exactly. I told you, that's my best friend.
So let's talk about chakras, because I know you cover that also in your book. How can people understand the importance of chakras?
So we talk about chakras, auras, same kind of concept. In spirituality, it's the alignment of energy through your body. and different chakras have different colors, sounds, affirmations, and everything else. And some chakras are blocked because of trauma, physical, spiritual, sexual, all types of trauma. And so in order to keep your chakra energy, chi, aura, whatever it is, cleansed and flowing, we have to, I want to say, heal and be completely honest with ourselves about where we are at every stage and phase of our lives. Not allowing guilt, shame, grief, or any low vibrational energy to fester for too long.
That could be an issue for me too, because sometimes, I mean, I'll walk away, but I'm still like, you know what? Don't let me, don't let me go down bad memory lane with this, because I have not let that go yet. So yeah, that's something I definitely got to work on within myself.
Yeah, we all do. And like I said, you know, we all experience different things in life unfavorable. And the key is to process, feel, but not to sit in and let that become us, or, you know, or we become it. Right? Everything in life is a learning lesson. What did this pain, hurt, joy, success, what did it teach me? And how can it make me better and make someone else better too?
Now, before we close out, because I know people who might be considering a spiritual path or they want to get more in sync, let's go over how you choose your advisor.
So it depends on the type of person you are. So some people are vengeful. Some people are be nice, spiritual. No, some people are delusional. Let's just call it what it is. And so when choosing your spiritual advisor, most people gravitate towards the need in the moment. So if someone is inciting, adding to, agreeing with the fact that they playing in your face and all of these things, you're going to agree with that narrative because this person is kind of like co-signing what you've been going through. If you're desperate for whatever reason, this person may come along promising all these wonderful things that they can do for you. When choosing a spiritual advisor, for me, you should choose someone who is going to be honest with you, regardless of what they have to gain from telling you, or lose from telling you the truth, the absolute truth, and to see you grow first and foremost, regardless of what it benefits them. Because a lot of spiritual advisors and leaders, what I've seen nowadays, not all of course, but most of them, they want to cap you spiritually, keep you around to siphon your energy, but not teach you how to use it, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense, because I want people to stop, especially on social media. And I know I had this conversation with one of your followers about when she had a passing in her family, and people started reaching out to her about they got a message from the spirit, you know, of her past loved one. It's a pity that we can't have just people who want to have growth and have peace, but then you have people that like to tug on certain life events, and they can kind of sucker you in if they kind of hit close to home with whatever you're going through.
Absolutely. Just remember that you are the source of change that you need in your life. And you are the light that attracts whatever it is that you want in your life. Anybody else, spiritual or otherwise, that comes around is supposed to be adding to that. You understand? Yep. Helping you on your path to receive what it is you want without any gain to them. Because we're all supposed to be in service of one another. If I help you, then you help the next. That's how it's supposed to go. Right. But that's not how it's been. It's been very manipulative and deceitful, and that's unfortunate. But I always tell people, please don't operate from the areas of fear or desperation, because that's what these people are feeding off of.
Exactly. So y'all ignore them inboxes, because like I said, when I found spiritual, she wasn't in my inbox. I can tell you that right now.
Real, authentic people that believe in their gifts and abilities will not be in your inbox. That's just another thing. And guys, everybody is not under a hex or spell. You know, trials and tribulations sometimes are building tools, not punishment. So please, when people come into your inbox, take your power and say, reject anything, even if you may be experiencing some unfavorable situations in your life. Reject anything that is not positive.
But I'm hoping that everybody found some great guidance, some good starting points if you're trying to go on a spiritual journey, if you're trying to find more peace in your life. Spiritual, could you tell everybody where they can find you at?
Well, right now you can find me on Instagram at spiritualessentials.2020, TikTok now at spirit.2020, and our website will be back up as soon as possible for your all your holistic and aromatherapy products and your spiritual services like intuitive coaching and meditation.
Thanks again to my spiritual advisor, Spiritual Essentials. You guys, make sure you guys go follow her on Instagram, follow her on TikTok, and like I said, her website will be up and running soon, but definitely go and purchase her book, Spirituality Made Simple. It's on Amazon. It is a great book because the book breaks down all the steps, the understanding you need to get started on your spiritual journey or to get more deeper involved in your spirituality. So definitely go support her. Purchase the book, Spirituality Made Simple. So I think this has been a great episode. I thank you guys again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this discussion and found some valuable insights. Now, before we wrap up, I just want to give you a little sneak peek of what's coming next. What's coming next is the world of online dating. The world of online dating has definitely switched up stuff in the dating game, but there are so many things that you need to be aware of if you're going to participate on online dating. Just taking personal notes, I can come up with my own list, but I actually got some real good facts and pointers, tips on how to make your profile stand out, the do's and the don'ts of online interactions, and we're going to share tips on how to spot them red flags. I love to give out the red flags to ensure your online dating experience is both fun and safe. Make sure you tune in for the next episode. It's going to be packed with practical advice and a few laughs along the way. So until then, we're going to keep the conversation going. I encourage you guys also to subscribe, share, and rate and review the podcast. I appreciate everything, and I will see you next time. Peace.
Talk to me, Michele.
Hey there, podcast lovers. Are you enjoying our episodes and want to help keep the magic going? We need your support. Head over to Buy Me a Coffee and make a small donation to support our show. Your contributions help us create more amazing content, bring in exciting guests, and improve the overall podcast experience. Every little bit helps, and by donating, you become a vital part of our podcast family. Plus, we have some exclusive perks and shout-outs for our generous supporters. With your support, we can continue delivering the content you love. So if you're enjoying the show, consider buying us a coffee today. Visit buymeacoffee.com/talktomemichele and show your support. Thanks for helping us keep the show running.